Good morning. Here we want to study about the intersymbol interference. We were studying our second unit, that is the baseband digital transmission, in which in previous session we have seen about the multiplexers, their hierarchies. Then we have seen about the different types of line coding, data formats, like we are using the polar encoding, bipolar encoding, unipolar encoding, in which we have seen about the non-return to zero, where we are using the full scale. It means what? We are using negative as well as positive waveform. But then we have seen about the return to zero, in which we are supposed to use only for the half cycle, where there will be the changes only for the half cycle. Then we have seen about the bit synchronization, frame synchronization, carrier synchronization, the scrambling, where we are converting long stream of bits 0 and 1 into a random 0 and 1s. So now today we are supposed to study about the intersymbol interference. So when we are supposed to do digital transmission, when we are transmitting a digital signal over a baseband, at that time the bandwidth of flat top pulses is infinite, and there are various filters in the transmitter, channel and the receiver of the communication. So if these pulses are filtered improperly, at that time, what we are saying, if these pulses are filtered improperly when they are making a communication, they will spread in a time, and the pulse for each symbol may be interferes into a adjacent time slot. So we can say that is nothing but a intersymbol interference. मतलब यदि वो जो waveforms है, if they are not proper, they are interfering with each other, मतलब adjacent में जा रहा है, they are not following the Nyquist theorem. At that time, we can say they will interfere. And here, how we can restrict the bandwidth? So we will not introduce the intersymbol interference. So here, when there is a restricted bandwidth, the pulse would have rounded tops. So our aim is to study about the intersymbol interference and use baseband pulse shaping as a solution to the intersymbol interference. So here in previous session already we have seen about the advantages of digital transmission. In today's session, we are supposed to study about the intersymbol interference, equalization, eye pattern, line coding technique and its properties we have seen. So what we are saying here, when we are supposed to use the digital communication, you guys are aware about the block diagram of a digital communication. It will consist of transmitter, channel and the receiver. Then we have seen the advantages of digital transmission over analog. So digital transmission will provide higher maximum transition rate via medium, such as optical fiber. It will be more secure, so we can encrypt digital data by using any encryption method. It means what? Here we can give the security. So here, if you see, we want to see about the noise immunity and the viability of the regenerative repeater in the digital communication. If we will get the proper waveform, there will be no intersymbol interference. But when we are spreading of the pulse beyond its interval, if we are saying its interval is a TB, at that time, when spreading of pulse beyond its interval TB will cause it to interfere with the neighboring pulse. So we can say there is an intersymbol interference is occurring. So this is known as ISI. This is the intersymbol interference, which will cause error in the correct detection of the pulses. So if we are spreading the pulse and that will going beyond its interval, we are saying there is an intersymbol interference. So basic cause of intersymbol interference. when we are supposed to transmit the pulse at every interval, that is nothing but the TB, if we are considering at that time. The channel has finite bandwidth and we are required to detect the pulse amplitude correctly. It means what? Here we are supposed to detect the pulse without intersymbol interference. But when we are considering time limited pulses at that time, since such pulses cannot be band limited, part of their spectra is suppressed by band limited channel. This will causes the pulse distortion and which will give us intersymbol interference. So, when we are saying there is an intersymbol interference occurring in between two adjacent waves, at that time, to eliminate ISI, Nyquist theorem will propose three different criteria for the exact pulse shaping. So we will get the correct pulses and there will be no intersymbol interference. So only we shall consider the first two criteria, and third is the inferior to the first two and hence will not be considered here. So we will see which criteria Nyquist theorem give us so we can eliminate the ISI. It means what? Intersymbol interference. So here if you see, in the first method, Nyquist theorem will achieve zero intersymbol interference by choosing a pulse shape that has non-zero amplitude at its center. We are saying at time t equal to 0 and it will have 0 amplitude. When time will become plus minus n TB, n is nothing but number of channels we are having. So we can write such pulses as we will get the P of t equal to 1 when we are taking t equal to 0. It means what? If we are taking at its center, we will get here non-zero amplitude. And when we are getting the zero amplitude, when we are taking the t value, that will be equal to plus minus n TB. And TB is nothing but we are taking it is as a 1 upon RB. So we can say here there exists only one pulse that meets the Nyquist first criteria and which will have the bandwidth, that will be RB upon T, TB. Sorry, what we are saying, when we are supposed to follow Nyquist theorem, we can say signaling frequency we will get equal to 2f max. It means what? 1 upon 2b we will get. 1 upon 2b. We are saying TB equal to 1 by RB. So what we can say here, there exists one pulse that will miss the Nyquist criteria. Nyquist criteria, so it will get the bandwidth. That will be RB upon 2 Hertz. So we will get here pulse that will be P of t equal to sinc n RB t. So here if we are taking the Fourier transform of this signal, we will get 1 upon RB rectangular W upon 2 pi RB. So using this pulse, we can transmit at a rate of RB pulses as per second without ISI. So here we are saying only our first pulse which is following the Nyquist first criteria. So when we are taking its bandwidth, that will be RB upon 2. At that time, if we are taking the Fourier transform of the signal P of t, we are taking Fourier transform, so you will get P of W. So using this pulse, we can transmit at a rate of RB pulses per second without ISI. So you will get here second pulses also will go without intersymbol interference over a bandwidth of RB by 2 Hertz. So here, if you see the waveform, you can see in the diagram A where we will get the interference. If you see, when we are studying about the Nyquist first criteria, at that time, if we are taking the pulse that will have its amplitude P of t equal to 1, you can see in the diagram B, where we will not get the interference, because here we are supposed to take P of t equal to maximum 1 when we are taking t equal to 0, and when t will become plus minus ntb, at that time you will get P of t that will be near about equal to 0. So we can say here we will not get any interference, because here we are getting the bandwidth that will be Rb upon 2. So here we are taking the time, so it will be its reciprocal. So we can say 2 upon Rb, 2 upon Rb, 3 upon Rb, and so on. So here we will get the minimization of the intersymbol interference. So limitations of the first criteria pulse. Unfortunately, this pulse is impractical because it will start at a minus infinite. We will have to wait an infinite time to generate it. So here we can say, as Nyquist first criteria are having the some limitation, we are supposed to find another way which will minimize the intersymbol interference. Because when we are studying about the intersymbol interference, to minimize the intersymbol interference, we are saying Nyquist criteria is giving the first and second criteria. So first criteria is impractical because it is starting at the rate minus infinite. Because we are saying we will get the P of t equal to 0 when t equal to plus minus n of tb. So here we can say this pulse is impractical because it is starting from the minus infinite. We will have to wait for infinite time to generate it, and any attempt to truncate it would increase its bandwidth beyond the Rb by 2 Hz. So, but even if this pulse will realizable, it has undesirable feature that it decays too slowly at a rate 1 by t, and this will causes some practical problems. So for instance, if the nominal data rate of Rb bits required for this scheme deviates little, the pulse will amplitude and will not vanish at the other pulse's center. So it will causes the intersymbol interference. So now we can see another solutions. So here we can see about the second Nyquist criteria. The solution is to find the pulse that will satisfy the condition specified, but it will decay faster than first Nyquist criteria. So here we can say Nyquist had shown that such pulses will require the bandwidth that will be constant Rb by 2, where we can take constant that will be in between 1 and 2. So we can say k will be less than or greater than or equal to 1, and it will be less than or equal to 2. It will be in between 1 and 2. So we can say here that will be the solutions to find the pulse that will satisfy the specified condition. So we can say here the roll-up factor. If we are saying we will have the bandwidth that will be kRb by 2, at that time the bandwidth of Pw that will be Rb by 2 plus Wx. So here we are taking Wx is the bandwidth that will be excess in the theoretical minimum bandwidth. So we can say the roll-off factor be the ratio, that will be the ratio of excess bandwidth with respect to the theoretical minimum bandwidth. So you can mathematically write R equal to ratio of excess bandwidth with the theoretical minimum bandwidth. Theoretical minimum bandwidth Rb by 2. Excess bandwidth Wx. So you can write R equal to Wx upon Rb by 2. So you can write 2Wx upon Rb. So observe that because Wx is most equal to Wb by 2 and it will be in between 0 and I, you can say theoretical minimum bandwidth is Rb by 2 and excess bandwidth is R into Rb by 2. So we can take its bandwidth Pw. We are having the formula Rb by 2 plus Wx. Rb by 2 as it is. Wx we can write R into Rb by 2. This is nothing but the Fx. So if we are rearranging this equation, you can write bandwidth or Pw, bandwidth or the Pw. It means what? The bandwidth of that pulse equal to, if you are minimizing that equation, you can take Rb common, so you will get in bracket 1 plus R upon 2. So that will be the bandwidth of the Pw. So here we can see pulse that will satisfy the Nyquist criteria. So here if we are saying ideal pulse, that will be denoted by a straight, the dark line. If you see here we are taking the dotted line, imaginary lines. If it is dark and if it is not that much dark, if it is not that much visible, you can say that will be the Wx, where we will get Wb by 4. And if we are taking the dark dotted line, Wx, Wb by 2. So here we are saying pulse will satisfy the Nyquist criteria. It will get the frequency, that will be the signaling frequency, that will be the 2f max. You can see here we are taking the TB, 2 TB. So here we can say we will get the value of bandwidth, that will be Rb by 2 plus Rrb by 2. So here we can minimize the ISI. Remaining we will see in the next class. Thank you.